Hi everyone, this is your favorite friend Jay or Jaylan Salah, as you formerly know her, film critic at Geek Vibes Nation in Session Film and Movie John. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing writer-director Kelsey Taylor on her feature debut To Kill a Wolf. A dark fairy tale weaves in the mystery of the lore with the grimness of reality. Kelsey, very happy to talk to you today.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
Why this title, To Kill a Wolf?
It was not the original title of the film, but in brainstorming more and more, this was a clear winner for us. It's very striking, and I think it makes people question who is the wolf, why are we killing it, and how do we kill the wolf? I think it makes people think, and that's what I'm always looking for in a title.
So why did you pick this project as your feature debut?
I'd like to say I had a lot of choice in the matter, but this is a concept that has really just been calling to me for a long time, and getting the film made has been a long, long process. But for me, I do think this represents my sensibilities. Like I love stories that live in the gray. I love adaptations, all things adaptations. I'm super excited about the Odyssey. So yeah, I think it was a natural fit for me. And really, you'd like to think you can choose whatever you want to make for your first feature. You can't. You're a first time filmmaker, so some of this is also just the practicality of like this is what I could make, and I'm proud of what we did make. But in an ideal world, I'd be making big budget fantasy movies like Sleepy Hollow.
Oh wow, okay, what a choice. But I can feel like your love for the dark fairy tale realm, especially, is very evident in this film because it has a lot of layers and it has a lot of directions. So I want to know, did you always want to do Red Riding Hood, or did you have other fairy tales that you wanted to adapt and then you weaved in the real story?
Yes, I mean, yes, I would love to do every fairy tale. I think so many of them are so black and white and clear, but I grew up on um, the Grimm's fairy tales and Perrault. But I love like the 12 Dancing Princesses is one that I'm like, there is a creepy story in here somewhere. So I'd love to circle back on that one. The Pied Piper is one I keep talking about. I have a lot of ideas for that, but I think my brain is always drawn to things that are kind of incomprehensible. And I feel like a lot of those fairy tales, it's like, and then this just happened. You're like, okay, but how? So yeah, I love the idea of bringing those things into the real world and finding what's the truth behind this craziness.
I love that there were many wolves here. There's the actual wolf, and there are metaphorical wolves. So, how did you weave the theme of wolves in general, whether the real animal wolf, the animalistic side, and also the metaphorical theme of wolf?
Yeah. I, I'm glad that you see all of those wolves because that is part of the title. It's like what is the wolf and how do we kill that wolf? Um, because also like the wolf in sheep's clothing, I think is very, very much applicable to this film. Not to add more metaphors, but I love subverting expectations. So I think here having a literal wolf, it feels like for people that's obvious that's clearly the wolf. Um, but I think we come to find out later there's definitely a different wolf, our true bad guy. But I'm a big lover of wolves, and I feel like wolves spark a lot of controversy, especially in the natural world. Where I'm from, people hate the reintroduction of wolves into nature because they prey on wildlife, thus our relationship with the rancher. So it's complicated, um, and I like that. I like that in a film. I like complicated. Maybe we should be saving the wolves. To Save a Wolf was also a title at one point.
But actually, the woodsman, before getting into one of my favorite characters, I just love the woodsman so much because I felt like there's a lot of layers to this person. Like there, you don't know exactly what side is he on, but at the same time, he's a very
Yeah.
compelling character to follow. So how did you write both, especially Danny and the woodsman? How did you write them and how did you cast them?
Yeah, I'm glad that you pick up on that with the woodsman because he used to be a much more like traditional like archetype. I am a gruff man. There's no humor. And in meeting our hero Ivan Martin, hero in the
He's
film, hero of my
brilliant.
life, he just has a sense of humor about him, but he's also very unpredictable. And I love that as an actor. The choices he makes are very unexpected, and untraditional. And so we wanted to inject more humor. And it was really after meeting Ivan, I did another draft of the script, kind of with the idea of like, what if Ivan had proposed to me? What if the woodsman smoked weed? And I was like, I don't think so. No, not the character I was seeing. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I think you're right, Ivan. I think in classic Ivan fashion, like this is the unexpected choice. And so then we're like, all right, let's lean into that. And then came like the stereo obsession.
Yes.
And all these, yeah, all these things that make him a much more interesting and complex character. And for Danny, played by Madison Brown, that's a much more serious character. There's not a whole lot of humor in her. I mean, there's still moments. But for her, I think Madison does an amazing job of doing a lot with very little. And even on the day, we kept being like, I don't think we need to say that. I don't think we need to say that. She can emote so much without saying anything at all, which is hard to do as an actor. You want to like do so much. You want to show people how you feel. And she's just feeling it, and you can feel it.
100%. She's an emotionally suppressing character. And this is what I loved about her. And it fits so well. Also, I love that you separated the attention or the expectation with the woodsman being more out there, even with his
Yeah,
enigma, but he actually breaks it in front of us and becomes more vulnerable. While Danny is always in the background. She doesn't let us in a lot. We
yeah.
don't even see her in her role.
Yeah, that
Yes.
scene later on, the one of the last scenes with them where the hunter's offering or the woodsman is offering like, "Hey, can I get you anything? Can I help you?" And she says no, and I just that scene breaks my heart. 'Cause I'm like, just accept some help, girl.
I know.
Um, but yeah, she's there's that wall that she's hiding behind all the time. And Madison is truly, I think, a character actor. I don't know if she would categorize herself that way, but the way even she moves in the film, I'm like, that's not Madison. She definitely puts on this persona. She's also Australian. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh my God, I didn't. Wow.
She's really like it's a whole different character that she puts on, and she really disappeared into it. You can feel like that awkward teenager skin go on.
Wow. Okay, so because there is a scene that I totally adored and I found very, very relatable. The woodsman is there listening to Bad Times by Sliders and dancing alone. And it's a very pain dance. I don't know, like the dance of someone kind of like finally getting in. I felt like it was a scream more of a dance, but at the same time, it felt very, very, very reminiscent of this character and also very relatable if you're living alone and you're doing all these crazy things on your own. You kind of like let go, and the dance is not really choreographed, or you don't try to look cool. So it looks
Yeah.
kind of wild and weird. Reminded me of Saoirse Ronan in The Outrun when she was dancing on her own. So
Yes.
trust me, it was the same vibe that I got. How did you get this scene to be so perfect? Also, the song choice.
Oh, I mean, it makes me so happy that you said The Outrun. I love that film, and it premiered in
Love it.
Edinburgh where we did, so it's very close to my heart. But that was kind of an impromptu thing. That was not scripted. That was one of those things where we're like, I think we need a dancing scene. I don't know where it's going to go yet, but I think we need something like that. And we had done all the polling of music ahead of time. So we had that song. We knew that's what it was going to be. We tried out a number of things. Ivan was we had a lot of arguments about what the music was going to be. And he had some really cool ska music, and we almost went there. It's a different vibe. Yeah, just throw some ska music on and watch that scene again. Um, but that was one of those magical moments that just worked really, really well. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm glad that that resonated with you. There's a cool little cut that we made. I'll have to send it to you of the woodsman day,
Yes,
and there's little lyrics
please.
like "You gotta go home." We've had a lot of fun working on this movie, even though it is very, very dark.
It is very dark, but I could tell now from your conversation with me, it was fun for you. I was going to ask you what was the most difficult scene to shoot, but also what was the most fun, although it seems like all was fun.
It, it was a lot of it was fun. A lot of stuff that shouldn't have been fun was fun. Because also Michael Esper, who plays our uncle, those scenes are the toughest. That was our last week of filming. It's brutal. It's brutal for Michael. It's brutal for Madison. Like it's just hard. And there was a couple days where just we were all feeling pretty down. But Michael is awesome.
Drained. Mhm.
Yes, that's what Madison said, because when you're acting, your body doesn't know that it's all pretend because you're telling it it's not. So she would just physically be exhausted at the end of it. She's like, I don't even know why I feel this way. I was like, well, because you've been doing this over and over and over, and it's not like you have to do it once. It's you got to do it 5 times. We definitely tried to minimize as much as possible how much we were doing it. Um, but like that's why we try to keep it light so much. But Michael comes from a Broadway background. And so he would sing show tunes in between sometimes. And that's my favorite is when he'll be like, oh, what a beautiful morning. And then they'll go right into the scene. So you guys are crazy.
This is awesome. So these are like, okay, the most difficult, the scene that you felt like, oh, okay, we're all like Wow, maybe is it something recording Danny, or was it some a place where the woodsman opens his heart so much, remembers the past? I want to know
Mm,
something that left you
yeah.
as the director like, okay, whoa, cut,
So,
break.
okay, two things. The the easiest scene to shoot potentially was the woodsman at the memorial, which would not have thought. Like last scene of the film, we shot it in week 2, but something about that day when we showed up, there was just a calm. There was a calm about everyone. There's a calm about Ivan, and I think we did 2 takes of it. In both takes, I teared up and I was like, "I think we're good."
Wow.
It felt just too easy, and I had anticipated that one being tough. Um, and then probably the hardest one is the scene with Danny and Carrie in the hotel. That one was one of the last ones that we've done in that series of scenes, and it's just so tense in that room. It's so uncomfortable. Um, and yeah, just I went out to get Madison in the car. She was waiting to go inside, and she just broke down. I was like, yes, today is the breaking point. But we did it, and I think it turned out really, really well. But after, like, our crew is amazing, but after the end of that take, everyone in the crew just got up and walked out of the room and just left Madison and I there alone. And it's like, we had a lot of fun, but also everyone was very in tune with how heavy everything was as well.
This is what I wanted to ask you because I feel this is a very heavy subject matter, but I feel like it was treated in a very poignant way, in a very refined way. Like it felt like you are not trying to exploit a story about something that is really traumatic and hard. How did you know how to do it in this immaculate way?
Well, thank you. I'm really glad that you feel that way about it because I never we never want it to be exploitative at all. We want it to feel very, very real. And I think the complicated things about abuse is that sometimes people feel like they are culpable in it, even when they are a
Yeah.
victim. There's so much shame that goes into it. And so we wanted to make sure that we reflected that we didn't just make this a clear victim. Um, our main character has autonomy. She makes choices that may make it look like it's her fault, and that is not the case. That is not the case to victims. Um, she's a child. No matter what happens, like it is wrong. And yeah, I'm glad that you feel that way, and I hope we did it properly because it is a hard line to walk, making sure that your characters are autonomous but also empathetic.
Exactly. And you're also protecting, like, when a viewer watches and they have the experience or they have the background, I feel like this is a movie that is really good. I feel like it's a great movie to show even to women because I feel like women need to tell stories more and to be open
Yes,
more about things. So this is a very cathartic film.
good, and that's part of it is people afterwards coming up will say, "This made me relive a lot of memories. This was really hard to watch," and it makes me not happy. It makes me happy that it resonates with them because that was the goal is to educate and to share these stories 'cause it's hard to talk about. There's so much shame that you just bury that. And we want to make sure that this is a conversation starter. And we are working with a partner to make sure that we can continue to share the story more broadly with people who need to see it. It saddens me that so many people have experienced it, but it is a reality. Everyone has a story like this. Everyone has experienced that uncomfortableness with someone. Yeah.
This is why I feel like when you do a Pied Piper adaptation, I would be their front seat. Like, I mean, seriously, the way you would tackle the Pied Piper story, oh my God, the Piper of Hamelin, I would love to watch that series. I would love to see it through your eyes because when you have a filmmaker like that, you know they're going to bring something fresh to the story and they're going to manipulate it and make it into something that is okay. I want to see this. I want to watch it. I
Oh,
just want to know your background as a cinematographer. Did it
yeah.
influence your directorial choices?
Definitely. And fingers crossed on the Pied Piper. Fingers crossed. I would love to make that. Um, yes, cinematography background.
Yes.
I can't help myself. I'm a very, very visually focused person, and I have a clear sense of aesthetics and what I like, and I'm very particular. And sometimes I drive my DP crazy. But I also think my background in cinematography doesn't just make me particular. It makes me understand how things need to happen and why we need to do things in a certain way. So for example, like one of our scenes we shot across 5 days, the scene where Danny is walking through the house at dusk. but we shot in 20-minute increments across those 5 days, which is something you traditionally would not get on a film of this scale. But me and my cinematographer, we understood the importance of, hey, if you want to look like that, you have to do it this way. So sometimes I think if cinematography is a focus, you compromise other things because you know that if the goal is these beautiful visuals, it just has to be done in a particular way.
Okay, so my last question for you, Kelsey. This is a great conversation. Honestly, I'm enjoying myself. I hope you are.
Yeah.
What is next for Kelsey?
Oh,
I hope you're enjoying all my questions and squeezing you.
I love the questions. Also, you've asked so many new questions too. I'm like, oh, this is fun to talk about. And I feel like I have stories for days. It's nice to also relive the film. It's been a while since we made it and it's finally coming out and getting to share it with other people is nice instead of it just existing on my hard drive. um, I'm sorry, what was the question? What did you ask? Oh, what's
What is
next?
next for you?
Oh, I'm
Like,
avoidant. That's what's
yes, what are you
happening.
doing next?
Um, I am I am writing lots because I have the next couple projects I really want to do, but it's very hard to get them off the ground. I think I'm very much looking for that producer who's willing to help and go out on a limb for the projects and the stories that I want to tell. And I'm very open. Like I'm not someone who wants to be a writer director. I definitely want to direct. So I'm looking for material that I can sink my teeth into as well. But someone jokingly said on our festival circuit, they're like, organ noir, that's what you've made with To Kill a Wolf. And I was like, I would be satisfied if I made nothing but organ noir for the rest of my life. And I think the Pied Piper could fit into that. I've got a script. I'm big into serial killers, but I really want to make a nuanced serial
Please.
killer film. Um, and I'm also period pieces. Everything should be a period piece.
I would
So
I
yeah,
would watch a serial killer movie directed by you. Definitely. Like 100%. I want to see you because when you love a filmmaker, you feel like, okay, I want to see them doing this and doing this. And I'm so excited for you,
what
honestly.
do you think
Like
I
I
should do
will
next?
keep
You tell me. What should I do?
definitely something. Okay, so I want to see something noirish from you, like even deeper noirish. And I want to see something very like woman versus nature. You know, when you have this man versus nature trope, woman
Yeah.
versus nature, like a woman against, like the wind or the ocean or the forest or the woods or the ice or whatever, because you would tackle that from a very different angle. But also, I would love to see any dark fairy tale from you. Like there is a lot that I want to
Okay.
see, but definitely, definitely, and also serial killer, but kind of like having like a deep, very demented relationship with probably a potential victim. So I would love to have that voyeuristic way done through a female protagonist that you will
Mm,
direct or write. See, got it all out
okay.
on the table. A lot of ideas for you, Kelsey, because
I've
you're
got
like
the list.
very exciting.
Well, it's interesting though, like what I take from that is a female character driving it, because I do feel like a lot of the scripts I write tend to be men, and I'm trying to figure out why that is. So I think I need to go back and
I
look at that.
I don't know. I feel like because I personally, I usually write men, even I even identify sometimes with men writings, not because it's like, yeah, patriarchy, no, no, no. But it's more about, I have a very masculine side because I was raised like I was a very daddy's girl. So I
Ah,
always wanted to be my dad, but as a woman, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want
yeah.
to be my dad as a guy, but I really wanted to be my dad. So I feel like your protagonists, male as they are, if you shift them into a woman sometimes, this would be very interesting, but also to have that male protagonist from your point of view because you put their vulnerability on display so well would also be like kaboom.
I love this. Damn, I just want to go right now.
Well, okay. This is great, Kelsey. Sit down and write. You have like a big fan who is going to watch anything that you do, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ryan. Like this was an awesome conversation, and thank you for watching the film. Tell your friends to go see it in theaters. Please.
Definitely. And I'm also writing a review, so I will definitely share even the review. Like, besides the interview, I'm also writing a review. So, yeah, stay
Awesome.
tuned,
Thank you.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely to meet
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.